Welcome back, everybody. Okay, we're outside in the garden, and
beautiful.
You can
see your breath.
You can still see your breath.
Just barely,
so
of course.
Chilly.
Not like the other day when I was flying around. Snow everywhere. It was unbelievable.
Oh, well, I was talking to you up in Northwest Carefree. I said, hey, I talked to Dave the garden guy, and it's getting cold up here. Start covering your plants. And we're talking about that this morning.
That's exactly right, because there's a lot of plants out there that have got a little bit of frost damage. Now, we haven't had one of those real severe frosty type days that we had last January. But this is the time of year where you got to decide, what do you do with the plants you got? Let's talk about tomatoes right now. I just cut this off with some of my tomatoes out in the garden right there. There they are, and there's what the frost damage looks like. It's just tip burning right now. Nothing on the lower part of the plant. So more than likely, this is okay, because the fact that we haven't quite got to the fruit. If you're planting Pearsons or celebrities or early girls, the plant of the type of fruit or vegetable that's getting up underneath the plant, more than likely it didn't freeze. If we get a real hard frost, you're gonna wanna pull this plant out, hang it upside down in the garage, and the fruit will go ahead and ripen in your garage. Now, you can go ahead and do like my mom does, put it on the windowsill of her home, but that's a way to do it, because you want to get that stuff out of there prior to any type of severe type frost.
What do you do with this? Do you cut this off and let it go, or do you just leave it alone?
I leave this on. That's an excellent question. In fact, for all those plants out there, even your tender ornamentals, not just in your garden itself, out in your landscape, you want to go ahead and leave this on. This helps protect the plant from additional frost damage. So it acts as a structure. So what we do is we leave this on, the bougainvilleas, the hibiscus, the asparagus fern, anything that got a little bit tinged, leave it alone. Now, of course, your eggplants are a different story. This is your eggplants right there. Now, the eggplants are fairly resilient, and this is some eggplants that we grow out here. They've been just planted. We've got some in the garden out here that are 4 or 5 years old. I said 4 or 5 years old. Reason being, one, we protect them, but they do freeze all the way to the ground, and they have a tendency to kind of perpetualize or come back up. So they're real easy to take care of, and they don't quite need the heavy covering that we normally see on the tomatoes, and you don't need to go ahead and pull them out of the garden, as do the peppers. And you can see the peppers right here. There's a lot of different types of peppers out there, folks. We've got some out in the garden, again, 4 or 5 years old out in the garden, and they're very easy to maintain. They do need a little bit of protection, but again, we do not pull those out of the ground. They have a tendency, again, to perpetualize in the garden. When I say perpetualization, this is a plant that goes from year to year and continue to produce fruit, as does your asparagus and some of your other different types of plants. And speaking of that, there's a lot of different types of what we call bare root or deciduous type plants that we plant this time of year. These are your apples, your peaches, your pears, all your plums, all your different types of plants that lose their leaves. Now, somebody's going, well, you can't grow pears
now.
You plant them right now, and you're looking for them in the stores as bare root or in pots. I like to purchase them bare roots, but I've got pears growing up in my Payson property up in northern Arizona. They do excellent. So if you folks are up there, I know we got a lot of viewers up there in the higher elevations. There's a lot of different types of plants. Keep in mind, we're going to cover this. There are certain varieties that do well here, certain varieties that do well at different types of elevations, being the fact that you have to have a certain amount of chill hours. These are hours that are accumulated between 32 and 45 degrees. We have lower chill hours in the morning, or here in the lower deserts, and in the upper areas, we have longer chill hours. So that's gonna be real important. We'll kind of go over that over the next couple of weeks. So we'll start going ahead and start building those holes right now. Now, of course, there's a lot of different types of Christmas plants. You want to go ahead and start thinking. These miniature roses I found at the 99-cent store the other day. And they are excellent out here in the Arizona climate. We're going to go ahead and put those in, but you know, you're looking for a Christmas present or something just kind of decorated at home. They work out fantastic. Go ahead.
Speaking of Christmas, you got a poinsettia right here.
Right there.
Do you have any tips so that they last longer?
You
so
betcha.
They can last all the way through the holiday. You don't have to go back to either Home Depot, the grocery store, whatever, and get another one.
Exactly. In fact, what you're looking at is you're looking at a poinsettia right here that I picked up at Home Depot. $5, $6 a piece. First thing you want to do is you want to remove this foil packing. In fact, this is crucial to the survivability of that poinsettia. Second, you don't feel that soil right there, right? You can feel it. A little bit dry, you know, or just moist, basically. Yeah, moist and dry. And you're looking, it's cold. And what you're looking for is when it's dry to the touch, and it will be dry because it is cold right now, But when it's dry to touch, that's normally when you want to water. Keep it away from any types of drafts. It does not like cold, going from cold to hot. We bring them in the garden here, and we try to put them inside, or I try to put them inside my truck, because they like a fairly consistent type temperature. If they don't get that, well, they're not going to last. And there are folks out here that actually get them to, again, perpetualize, there's that name again, where they go on and actually get them to survive until next fall. They're very easy to do. And then some of the other plants, you're going to see a lot of different types of living Christmas trees. Right. We've got some of the different types of stone pines here, rosemary here. All those work out fantastic, and they will be one thing you want to think about. Well, plant in your yard, but make sure you give them plenty of room.
Wonderful, Dave. Thank you very much. You answered my question. I know you at home had some questions for Dave the Garden Guy. He's going to take those in just a couple of minutes. We'll put the phone number up in a few minutes.